morning to you. HawkFanatic.com is brought to you by Patrick Eads and his great staff at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike's E-Keys for cars. GT Carr and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Dirk Sterner Taxidermy. Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dreams Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Oxyoke Inn of the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. Expert Plumbing. Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, and Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter, Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com, and Coach Don Patterson.
All right, Coach. Well, it's a beautiful, crisp, perfect day for football. Wish we were playing today. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks, Tom, for asking.
And, okay, Hawkeyes took care of business down in the ReliaQuest Bowl down in Tampa. What were some of your thoughts on that game?
Well, I categorized it this way. It was one of the most enjoyable bowl games I've ever witnessed.
Yes.
I agree.
Well, at least witnessed in person, I mean, there in the stadium. It was just a great day to be a Hawk fan, that's for sure. And I was so proud of the fact, I made this comment to later as the game was playing out. It was 31-17, I believe, at the time. And I said, if we stay started on 31, we're not going to win the game. And we don't know that would have happened, but I suspect it might have happened that way, simply because they have an explosive offense, and they proved it in the second half especially. They took some shots against us, and they were good enough to execute well enough to connect on several long plays. And the thing that pleased me so much, if I want to zero in on one aspect of the game, they cut it again to a one-score game. We had the ball. There were still, I believe, about 11 minutes left in the game. And we drove for 7 minutes plus.
Yep.
Pretty much the length of the field. And, of course, we didn't get a touchdown, but we did get an all-important field goal. And once we extended the lead to 10 points again to make it a two-score game and ate up so much in the fourth quarter, I think that had everything to do with us ultimately being able to hold on for the win.
Don, I thought, and this is what I wrote, Iowa just looked like the more physical team in the trenches. Vanderbilt couldn't run the ball. Iowa just looked like the more physical team. Other than that, it was you could give Vanderbilt maybe the edge and explosiveness or whatever, but they could not match the physicality.
You're right. The game is still ultimately won in almost all cases on the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
And the bottom line, our defense performed better than their offensive line, and our offensive line certainly performed better than their defensive line.
Yep. What did you think? I mean, Pavia, I gained a little respect for him. I still think his behavior at times is, but the way he battled on, he's a competitor, and I'll tell you, he made a couple nice throws. Tom even brought that up the other day. He made a couple throws in that second half that were impressive.
Yeah, they were. I was impressed with his toughness, too.
Yeah.
Truthfully, with talking about no running game, the only running game they had was Pavia.
Yeah.
Not so much undesigned runs even, but just on flushes.
Yeah.
His ability to extend play. He's a little deceptively fast. When he got loose for his touchdown, I do recall we misjudged his speed a little bit. But he is a competitor. I'll give him that. I think he's kind of a loudmouth, I guess you could say, with what he says sometimes.
Yeah, he sometimes. But maybe that's part of what makes him who he is. I don't know. Of course, Gronowski played a great game. He had his first 200-yard passing game. He had the way he got loose on that scramble down there for 44 yards early. That was incredible. How many people he eluded.
He set the tone right
there. Yeah,
right
there. That kind of set the tone.
You're right. I really honestly felt Mark played the best game he'd ever played this season.
Yeah,
there might have been some at South Dakota State that he felt were even more effectively played on his part. But he certainly played a great game. And I was so happy for Mark that he could finish his career that way. I also was pleased. It was so gratifying to go to the rally the day before the game and meet so many parents of the players. I didn't
Oh,
realize
I bet that was fun.
a lot of the parents do listen to our Monday morning show. If not in real time, at least they are aware that it's archived and they listen to it at their convenience. And so many of them made that comment that we're just appreciative of you and Pat and Tom. And they also talked about the podcast I do post game with Corey. And they're just all appreciative of the fact that we all are fair with our judgment about Iowa football. Yeah, we're fans, but we also offer an honest assessment of what happened. I know that's my goal at all times, and I believe it's yours too.
Sure. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we just want to be fair and accurate. Now, of course, I'm biased. Iowa, Notre Dame, Chicago Bears, Chicago Cubs. Those are my 4 teams. They always have been all my life. But you can still look at a team and like a team, but be objective, especially when that's your job. Now, I will say, Don, there is some media today that openly are biased, and that's fine as long as you identify yourself as that. But no, that's what we try to be. Now, of course, you love Hawkeye football, and so you're not going to cross a line, and we get that. That's why we would never take you down a certain line of questions either to put you in uncomfortable spots. But we can still be objective. I mean, we've questioned the downfield passing or whatever, but you got to admit, this team, by the end of this season, Don, was playing good football. And do you agree that it just took some time for this passing offense? It seemed like the passing offense was a lot better at the end than it was at the beginning of the season. I know you can say that any year, but it seems like Mark was finally starting to get it here in these last 2-3 games. Do you agree?
Yes, I do. And I think even the NFL guys in assessing Mark, they're of course, they deal in realism. And I think they would honestly assess Mark was not able to benefit from spring football, and that was a setback. Mm-hmm. And as a result, the players on offense simply didn't get to know each other very well until maybe mid-season. At that point, they'd play a lot of football together, mm-hmm. and you could see progress almost from one week to the next. There were ups and downs, of course. That's the nature of football. But in general, the offense played their best football toward the end of the season. Mm-hmm. And I was just so happy for the offense because in so many cases, and I'm sure they get tired of hearing it, the defense typically wins their side of the game. Mm-hmm. Our kicking game typically wins their side of the game. If we win on offense versus the opposing defense, it's a one-sided win for Iowa. But as is often the case, sometimes the offense doesn't play as well as we need them to. And that's no fault of theirs. Sometimes it's simply a credit to the other team.
They're trying to win,
I believe we can now all agree. Here's the truth. Oregon and Indiana are very, very good football teams.
Yes, they are.
That's been proven time and time again. And I'm just so proud. How many Iowa teams have played 13 games and haven't come anywhere near laying an egg in any of them?
No, you're right.
That's
true.
That's team.
Yeah, they had no bad losses, no real bad. Their worst game was Michigan State.
Yeah. But still found a way to win.
They found a way to win, but that's more a statement about Michigan State. But, you're right, Don. This team has been very consistent. It took a little while to get going, of course, on offense. But, no, by the end of the season, it was the other 2 losses, USC was pretty good. Iowa State was a good football team, especially then. Now Iowa State is really penny. Have you seen?
Oh, my God,
Don,
it's carnage.
Almost all those guys that were in the portal, those 8 that I mentioned, I think almost all of them have committed to Penn State. And I know Bramer, Beck, Bacon, the linebacker. I'm sure that doesn't surprise you, does it?
Even the young quarterback, too, right?
Yes, Alex Mansky, yes, he also committed to Penn State. That one really surprised me.
Yeah, because I would imagine he might have been the starter at Iowa State if he stayed.
Well, I see Iowa State got a commitment from some quarterback from smaller, I can't remember the name, whatever. But no, it's fascinating and sort of exhausting watching this.
It is exhausting, and it's just started because it's been a couple days.
And it's just, and one thing I'm curious, I sometimes wonder why those guys that do this stuff, they don't let the kids, like this Bryce Stevenson guy, like 5 minutes before he announced it on his,
Well, the agency, you said it
The
last
agents
Friday,
just-
the agencies are controlling the
But
narrative.
why won't the agents just let their guys announce it and then all the media react to it? I don't know. I don't know. But Don, Iowa, since we're on it, they added a kicker from North Dakota State who's made 19 of 23 career field goals, long of 54, and he's from the same hometown as Bennett Sturts, which is kind of interesting. And they just got a commitment from a Holy Cross defensive lineman, 3-year starter, Bryce Stevenson. He has 84 tackles. For somebody, I mean, what kind of football does Holy Cross play? For somebody who's listening who doesn't really know, how would you describe that level? We know North Dakota State.
Well, for what I know, Holy Cross is a well-run program.
Okay.
I'm no expert, of course, on their program, but of course I did coach in New England there for a few years, 3 years at Buffalo and then 2 years at UConn. So I certainly have an awareness of Holy Cross football, I don't know much about the individual at all, but I just have great faith in our coaches. Our coaches are now hung up on the fact that you have to go to some kind of powerhouse football program to get a good transfer. They come from all kinds of different places.
Well, they got Jonah Pace turned out to be a good. I thought he turned out to be a real good role player as a starting defensive tackle this year, and he was from Central Michigan, I believe. But no, you're right. Yeah. This kid was a 3-year starter at Holy Cross. I mean, right now, and Tom and I were talking about this. Iowa's not Indiana. I don't know if you saw what Indiana landed 6. Just top prizes in the portal. Don, it was. I mean,
Nick Marsh.
They got Nick Marsh, the wide receiver from Michigan State, Indiana. The Hoover kid, the quarterback from TCU, committed to Indiana. The Russian from Northwestern, who's a freak, committed to Indiana. I mean, it's just mind-boggling what's going on there.
Yeah, they're taking good advantage of the momentum they've got going right now in the program. And let's give Indiana a lot of credit. Let's face it, some of those guys that transferred in might have been a bust, but they weren't. And part of the credit has to go to the coaches.
No, you're right. That's a real good point.
Yeah, and the teammates, of course, they were certainly welcomed into the culture of the football team, and all the parts are managed to work well together. And great credit to the coaches for being able to get that done. It's easier said than done, and of course, it all starts with the head football coach, and then goes down through the coordinators.
We've talked about this before, Donnie, but I don't think there's ever been anything in college sports like Indiana's resurgence here.
I've been racking my
anything.
brain trying to think of something. I can't think of anything that comes close.
Well, I think I'll just defer to Nick Saban. Nick Saban has said this: the greatest job in coaching ever was done at Kansas State, and I think we know the guy behind that.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, Bill's
not taking anything away from Bill.
That's a great turnaround that Bill accomplished at K-State.
Oh, without question, yeah. But is it? I don't think it's quite this. But in fairness, it's apples and oranges, too, because Snyder didn't have the portal.
He had
to go through JUCOs and ranks, and it took a little bit longer. But, Don, that would be number 2 on my list. And then number 1, though, number 1 would be Indiana.
Right. Yeah, the rules have changed. It's easier to do what Indiana did, if only because the rules have changed.
Oh, without question.
It's still not easy to do. Who else did it as well as Indiana? No one. But under different rules, of course, it's still amazing what Bill Snyder was able to accomplish at Kansas State. And let's go back a little bit further, what Hayden Fry and company was able to accomplish at Iowa.
Oh, without question.
Those are 3 of the best turnarounds in the history of college football.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And Indiana, I mean, they've had – Kansas State had nothing, did they? Indiana, they won a Big Ten title in 60. I know that's a long time ago, but –
Butcher, Eisenberger, and Gonzo.
Had Kansas State ever done anything in football?
Nothing I'm really aware of. I do recall us playing when Bill was here, of course, and I do remember playing down there, and it was not much of a home field advantage, and I don't recall the score, but I recall that we beat them pretty badly.
I think it was 45-10, 1988, wasn't it?
I do recall Brad Quast, if I'm not mistaken, had a long pick 6 in that game. I do remember that.
Yeah, and I think it was 45-10, if my memory serves me correct. I remember watching that game. But okay, let's get back to this season now. I mean, you can see why Bryce Stevenson, he's got an opportunity. I was thinking they lose Max Llewellyn, Ethan Herkett, Jonah Pace, Aaron Graves, Brian Allen entering the portal, that was a surprise.
That surprised me.
That's the big surprise. Doesn't that surprise you? I mean, he projected to be a starter.
Yeah, let's not forget. Just because you enter the portal doesn't mean you're gone.
No,
that's true.
That's true.
That's a good indication, of course, that you might be gone. But I still hold out hope that Brian is still just weighing his options and may still be playing for us next fall, because he certainly is a good football player.
A good kid, too.
And I know he has an appreciation for our culture. We have no idea exactly what goes into Brian's decision.
Could be money.
For all we know, it ties into something back home, some kind of family situation back home. We don't know.
I'm guessing money.
Yeah, it might be that simple. And I hate if it comes down to that, because the reality, I know young people think a little bit differently than those that are 2 and 3 times their age. Mm-hmm. But it might be what seems like a big difference in money right now, and yet 10 years from now, he might look back on it as for a reason to make a change.
Yeah, I haven't heard. Tom, have you seen any reports on what schools linked to him? I have not. I haven't been looking much. You watch,
no specificity.
Watch him go to Indiana. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that one surprised me. Reese Dakin going to Michigan State did not surprise. He came here to play for LeVar. I get that. The other ones, Jackson Stratton, Cole Kolarek.
They just want to play.
They just want to play. Jazz Patterson.
I'll make a prediction right now. I don't know where Jackson will go, but I wouldn't be surprised at all. I don't even know how much time he has left. And I think you guys are aware that he had a physical impediment this fall.
Who are we talking about now?
Jackson Stratton.
Jackson Stratton.
To play. But it won't surprise me at all if he goes somewhere else and ends up having a really, really productive season.
That'd be great.
It would.
Does he have 1 year left or 2? I'm not sure.
I think 2, but I don't.
I think 2, but don't quote me on that. I could see him going somewhere like Cal Davis. I mean, a good smaller program out kind of where he's from. And no, you're right though, Don. I hope it does happen. That would be a neat story. It's happened before. Cody Sokol left. Remember, he went and played down at Louisiana. He had a good year. I mean, only one can play quarterback. And now, speaking of that, Don, I haven't seen much. I know there's a narrative out there that they're happy with Hank and Jeremy. You've seen them. But to me, if something would happen to pop up where Lester, hey, Tim, this guy's actually interested, you got to listen, right, Don? You never don't listen to quarterbacks in the portal, even if you think you have what you need, right?
Well, you're right. I mean, let's face it. Mark Gronowski had so much to do with our success this year on offense. Mm-hmm. And I've already acknowledged that the start was not what we hoped, but Mark has an explanation for why that happened, and it's a valid explanation. He simply didn't benefit from the spring ball, and that's staying back a little bit.
Yeah.
But he had everything to do with our success this year on offense. Prime example, I know one thing you said, Pat, a week ago. You said, tell me that, I think I made the comment to you, it's important that we have fewer pass attempts.
Yes.
In Vanderbilt. Do you remember that conversation?
I was thinking about that. Yes, I do.
Yeah. And, of course, we did. They had 36 or 8, whatever it was. We
playing
had 22.
catch-up. Yep.
And you also made the comment, are you telling me that you prefer that Martin not run the ball maybe more than 10 times? And I said, yeah, I prefer.
I remember that, too.
It maybe not be a number bigger than 10. I think it was exactly 10. And of course, one of those runs was
44 yards.
Had everything to do with the outcome of the game. And Poppy, I had a really nice flush that turned into a big game for him too. But the play that really got us rolling was the great play by Mark when he simply pulled the ball down and made several guys miss.
Like Gil
and ran
Sayers.
over a couple of guys too. And
Barry Sanders.
Next thing we knew, he was flipping the entire field.
Yeah.
It's because it looked like he might go down early there.
Okay, Don, I want to ask you this now. Somebody brought this up to me. It's kind of an interesting point. Yes, the offense did get better. By the end of the year, Mark was playing well, but so much of this offensive success this year was predicated on Mark's ability to run and take a pounding. Their next quarterback's not going to be like that. So does that concern you? Or, is that a legitimate concern?
It is a legitimate concern. And here's the bottom line. It's hard to find a quarterback that runs like a fullback.
That weighs 235, yeah.
Yeah, Mark's a little bit like that. He's a physical runner. So many of them, of course, have to rely more on finesse to be able to run down the field. And the only point I would make, if you're a finesse guy, then we better have a backup that's also a capable runner, because the finesse guy may not hold up the entire season. Mark took a beating at times and was tough enough to deal with it. And, that's what you have to do if you're a guy like Josh Allen comes to mind in the NFL. I see Josh Allen as a lot like that.
He's 245 pounds.
Pretty darn tough runner.
Yeah, and he weighs 245 pounds. That helps.
Yeah. So if our next guy, let's say there is a Porter guy out there that is a really obvious candidate for us and anyone else, if he's one of those 200-pounders that's not quite, he's very, very athletic, and yet not very capable of taking a physical punishment, and that's even more important, that the backup be ready to go, because he's a little more susceptible to injury, I do believe.
Well, and Mark's running got them so many first downs, where a lot of teams at Iowa, they would throw the down and out 7-yard,
incomplete and have to punt.
When things are functioning well, is what I knew I'd set myself up.
Sorry.
When things are functioning well, Iowa lots of times on 3rd and 5 will do a down and out for. I'm saying this laughing at the same time because it's been a problem. And good, you know what I mean.
Yes, of
course.
But
this year, Don, they did that so often with him avoiding a linebacker, absorbing 2 D-backs, and then he'd stretch for 8 and they'd keep the drive going. I don't see that in Heglinski or Hank Brown, and most quarterbacks aren't like that. So that is a legitimate concern. That would be my biggest concern moving forward on offense.
Then they're going to have to be able to pass better.
Exactly. That's the simple remedy, right, Don? Because they're not going to probably find a 235-pound dual threat.
Here's another significant stat from the bowl game. One reason we won is because of our success on critical downs compared to theirs.
Yeah. Oh,
big differential there.
Especially in the first half. And a lot of that was Mark just doing it on his own in some ways, because he took a pounding. He did in every game he played. That's just how he plays.
Yeah, I do recall that drive I was talking about in the fourth quarter. If I'm not mistaken, we converted at least 3 times on 3rd down.
Yeah.
And I believe a couple of them were maybe 3rd and medium, and yet we still converted.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy to convert when you have to convert, but we were able to get that done.
Yeah, no, and it was just a nice way to cap a season that really had some frustrating moments of being so close, no bad losses.
So close.
No bad losses now. So now they head into this off season, but right now it's not an. How would you have enjoyed the portal, Don, coaching? I mean, that's a rhetorical question, because I'm guessing, would this have driven you crazy?
I think it's unfortunate that we're in this spot. I would not have enjoyed it, no, and I don't think it's good. It's good for the student athlete either, simply because there are so many examples I can cite where a guy was a very capable backup, and he understood, I'm not as good as the starter. Incidentally, I'll make this comment. In general, players understand who's better than who.
Sure.
You heard me talk about this. They have the advantage of being in the meetings, being in the film study, absorbing their competition and how they perform versus how they perform. And in so many cases, I'll say it this way, and it makes complete sense, I'm sure, to you. Think about this. Your future as a coach relies on you making the right decision about who deserves to play the most. It's not political.
Yeah, I've never understood that. Never understood that narrative.
It doesn't matter to me whether you're black, white, or green. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the best guys play the most. And that's my commitment to you, is it's going to be that way. If you're the number 2, you'll play a lot, because we're going to have games in which the game's in good shape. And Coach Fry was notorious for saying, get them out. We got this game won. Let's protect our starters. Let's put in the backups, and let's give them a chance to play. And, of course, that was always great for morale, because you're developing those 2s to be ready to play when the ones do graduate or do go down. And it's just meaningful to the players, for the players to understand, I can leave, but in the old days, of course, if you wanted to transfer to another FBS school, you had to sit here. So you had to think long and hard. Do I really want to do that? This is a great culture here. I've got great teammates. I'm not the starter, but my obligation is to be the best damn player I can be. And I already know this from my coaches. If I'm the third-team player at my position, my coaches still love me because they know I'm giving everything I can to help this program. And it's not about me. It's about the team. The players understood that. And it is a lesson for life. I promise you, you're going to get knocked down a lot in life. You can run from your problems, or you can address them straight up. And of course, that's the message of staying in the program you're in. And maybe the only prime example, Mark Vlasic. Think about Mark Vlasic. I mean, I remember this Michigan coach after our '85 season. He said, "Well, we'll get you next year because you don't have Chuck Long, you don't have Ronnie Harmon, and a bunch of other great seniors too." And I said, "No, we don't have Chuck. But here's the bad news for you: we got a guy that throws better than Chuck. His name's Mark Vlasic. You're going to find that out in the fall." And that was a true statement. Mark was a better pure passer than Chuck. He wasn't quite as good in some other areas, but it was not an easy call for Bill Snyder to pick Chuck Long over Mark Vlasic. But he did it because that's what the job requires. Mark Vlasic will tell you, I was a good quarterback, but not quite as good as Chuck Long. I think Mark would probably acknowledge that. How good was he? Good enough to play in the NFL.
Yeah, they
I'm
both.
throwing for more yards than Chuck. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Mark's he's my grade. He's my age, class of '82. Now, Mark didn't have NIL NIL's changed everything, and we're ripping these athletes. Let me just say one.
Okay, go ahead.
The agents and the people around these athletes, I think, are controlling the athletes as much as the athletes are making these decisions on their own. And money is the biggest drive for everybody involved. And these are commodities now.
And some of the quarterbacks you got, and these are some guys that I have never heard of, are getting $5
Brendan
million.
Sornsby, the Cincinnati quarterback, who's at Texas Tech, he just signed a $5 million deal.
Yes.
Brendan Sornsby, I believe, is his name, and I think Sorsby or something. Did he play at Cincinnati?
Yes.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And was it Texas Tech that just signed him?
so.
I know for a fact that some of those numbers you say about guys making millions of dollars, some of those numbers are not accurate.
No, they might be inflated, but some of these are being reported by the agents.
Yes, but they're still really, really huge numbers that have changed everything.
Oh, without question. Bryce Underwood.
Here's my point. It's easy for a young man to say, I'm making millions of dollars, and it may or may not be true. Now, I don't doubt in a lot of cases what you hear is exactly the truth. But in some cases, it's easy for a young man to suggest he's making millions of dollars when in fact he's not. Here's my point. I know for a fact that some guys enter the transfer portal thinking that they're going to make a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
And the reality is sometimes they're disappointed.
No, you're right about that.
Sure.
Actually, more than sometimes, I believe. But
100%.
I think it's also fair to say right now, if you're a high-ranking quarterback on the market at the major college level, you're going to play for seven figures. I mean, Iowa paid Gronowski over seven. It's just you're going to be $1 million quarterback. There's just $1 million quarterbacks scattered all over the Division I landscape now, and it's just wild that it's gotten to that point. I mean, the guy playing at Miami, what's his name? The quarterback at Miami was at Georgia. I can't remember his name. Beck. He's making, I've read, $4 million. I mean, he's going to leave college having made $8, $9, $10 million. Don, it's incredible, and it's only going to keep. Do you see it ever changing? What's going to cause this to change? Because it's not the NCAA. They've basically just washed their hands of it.
Well, I think it needs to change. It'll be more obvious as the years play out. Mm-hmm. Simply for this reason, let's just assume right now that our playoffs were made at 12 teams. Mm-hmm. My fear going forward is it'll be a lot of the same teams year after year after year.
Yeah.
Simply because they have a bigger payroll.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate if it happens that way. Because the beauty of the game is that in its most fundamental form, it should be all about a sense of fair play.
But it's just not anymore.
No, it isn't.
Unfortunately, I'm with you, but it's just not. It should be, especially since it's still considered amateur and collegiate, but it's just not because money has seeped in everywhere. Agents are running everything. And agents' jobs are to make money for their clients. I get it.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, let's just compare NFL to Major League Baseball. I think one of the problems with Major League Baseball is that
no salary cap.
There are very, very different payrolls from one team to the next.
Sure. Oh, without question.
And the teams with the biggest payrolls in general are the ones you see
the Dodgers
in the fall during the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, the Yankees come to mind, those two in particular.
Mm-hmm.
There are others, of course, that have bigger payrolls. That's why I've always been a fan of teams like Kansas City or Pittsburgh or Minnesota that don't have such a big payroll. It's difficult for them to compete.
Sure, without question. I've never liked that about baseball, the inequity in payroll and what have you. But Don, do you think that at some point someone's going to have to just rise up and say we have to form our own governing body, separate from the NCAA? Let's name Nick Saban the guy. And then Saban, the first thing he said he would do is he would move the transfer portal window back after the season. He said it's ridiculous to have it it's open right now. It's open from the 2nd to the 15th, I believe. Mm-hmm. He says it's insane to have that during the season. The first thing he would do is move it to after the season. Do you agree with that?
I think it makes sense because here's what it would do. It would eliminate, I guess there's going to be arguments both ways. Let's face it, if you want to transfer, especially for a skill position like quarterback, you like to have them for spring ball. Well, that means, of course, they need to be enrolled in school in the spring semester, so they need to move now, not later. So that's the argument for the early transfer portal opportunity. If it was not available to you until after the traditional signing date, which of course would be, well, you could just arbitrarily say after the national championship game. And I think this year that's on the 19th, right?
Yes, correct.
It would be logical that maybe it would be logical to push it back at least beyond the outcome of the last game.
Yeah, that's what Saban was saying.
Yeah, but of course that would require them to not be transferring for the spring semester because so many cases you wouldn't be able to get late. I guess maybe you can late enroll in late January. I'm not sure nowadays.
Oh, no, there's definitely obstacles. No, you're right. The academic part of it.
Yeah.
Some schools are on semesters, other are on quarters. What's interesting, though, Ole Miss, they have their coaches. Some of them are going to LSU, but they're still coaching or at least they were coaching for Ole Miss. So you have a situation where you have maybe coaches coaching these guys and maybe even trying to poach them a little bit to follow them while they're still at the it's
playing
just
for Ole Miss.
It's just a bizarre setup. And I did look it up, Don. Pete Thamel from ESPN. Here's the full, let's see. Sorsby is the number one player in the ESPN portal rankings and the latest high-end transfer lured by Texas Tech. He's expected to command more than top market rate of $5 million for next year. Brendan Sorsby is his name, Cincinnati quarterback. I watched him play one time this year. And he's good. No, I'm like, wow, this guy's pretty good. He can run. He's got a nice arm.
But can you either of you guys imagine Kirk Ferentz spending $5 million on a quarterback? At least today I can't.
At Iowa, no. I mean, if he was at Penn State or Michigan or somewhere, maybe yes. I mean, the talk is that Gronowski got 1.4. Isn't that seems
that
to
sounds
be
about right.
I mean, that's still it's
good money.
It's pretty good money, but yeah, it's not $5 million. I mean, do you ever see a point where Iowa's paying $5 million for a quarterback, Don?
I hope not. I do wondering. I hope not. How about the other 10 guys that are on the field with him at the same time?
Well, that's
exactly. I agree with you 100%.
I guess if you got enough money, you just pay them too.
Everybody.
You just pay everybody.
Yeah, you've heard me say before. I just wish somebody would have had the vision 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, or 20 years ago, to say, okay, we're taking in more revenue now. We got to share it with the players. Here's a radical thought. A full scholarship is now tuition fees, room and board books, plus $10,000.
We were saying that last show, Don.
Yes.
That would have solved so many of our problems because it would have been a better solution than what we have. I'll say that.
Well, yeah, and we were talking about how the head coaches and the ADs, as their contracts and salaries started to climb into the millions, they didn't recognize the gap between them and the players, and it was by the time they did recognize it, it was too late. And I did see
chaos.
That Rutgers receiver Ian Strong, who's really good. He's visiting Notre Dame. I mean, God, wouldn't you love to get him at Iowa? But, I mean, obviously that's just – I mean, right now, portal needs for Iowa, Don. Well, Tom, what would you say? If you have your choice right now for Iowa portal – I mean, they needed a kicker, and
we need a punter.
They do need a punter.
We need a Caden Weegan replacement.
Now, that could be on the roster.
He was just named the Jet Award winner again.
Yeah, and that could be on the roster.
It could be. But, yeah, I mean, your good wide receivers don't want to come to Iowa right now because we don't throw the ball enough.
So, Don, how do you what's the word I'm looking for? How do you compete against that?
How do you rectify it?
How do you rectify it, or do you rectify it and figure out a different way to compete?
Well, I think we just have to be bargain shoppers. We're in that position where we need to be, and that simply means we got to go out and assess our players that are on the market, so to speak, and then figure out who's a bargain and who's not.
Yeah.
And we got to spend our money wisely. I think we've made an effort to do that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And some people would argue that mid-season they might have argued that Mark was not worth $1 million plus. But I think in the end he proved his value.
Agree.
Yeah.
Had a lot of value.
I agree.
And it is a critical position to be played. But there still needs to be a sense of order so that, yeah, he might be the highest paid player on your team, but that doesn't mean that other guys don't deserve to be rewarded for their outstanding play.
Oh, without question.
100%.
That's the challenge. That is the challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, here it was. Okay, big day for number one, Indiana. The Hoosiers landed 6 transfers so far, led by quarterback Josh Hoover, TCU, wide receiver Nick Marsh, Michigan State, edge rusher Toby Osensamani, Kansas State. He's really, and running back Turbo Richard, Boston College. And then they also, after this, added that rush edge guy from Northwestern, who's an athletic freak. So yeah, it's just again, I'm just baffled by what's going on there.
And of course, it's not necessarily that Indiana's outbidding some people for these guys. It's just that they want to be part of a championship program, and it appears right now Indiana's putting their guys to better use than maybe anyone.
Oh yeah,
they're the flavor of the month, and they're earning it.
Yeah, it's a destination place now, and they are still spending money. I mean, Indiana's got a nice little NIL. They've gotten a couple recent huge donations, but no, it's not just money. Because like when somebody goes to Ohio State, Don, you would agree, they're not just going there for money. They're going there because it's Ohio State. They're going to win, and that's what people think is happening at Indiana. Well, because it is. No, it's impressive. But I will say, in fairness to Iowa, Kirk's very efficient. They needed a kicker. They had to get a kicker. They got one. This guy looks like he's pretty proven. They need defensive line help. They got one. And is that kind of how you look at it? To me, Kirk does a really good job of sorting through the portal and saying, yep, we need this, but we also think we got most of what we need right here.
And they've done a good job so far.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I use that phrase, we got to be bargain shoppers.
Yes.
Let's give Indiana credit. I'm pretty sure when Indiana put this team together, they didn't spend more money than some other teams did.
No.
But they spent their money more wisely, I think. Don't get me wrong. I don't doubt that Indiana spent quite a bit. But there are teams that outspent Indiana, I can promise you.
Oh, yeah. And, well, they got Mendoza, and look how well it worked.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd barely heard of him, and I'd seen him, and I'm like, okay, but it turned out to be a perfect fit.
Yeah. And let's face it, those guys, they complement the culture that Indiana's trying to build. Is there any doubt that Mendoza is a model teammate?
He does sure seems that way. Yeah, he does.
My gosh, he seems very selfless.
Yeah.
He seems like a great young man, and I'm happy for him because he also demonstrated to me the day we played him, he's tough as a boot. He's a very tough football player. He may not look like it, but he plays like it.
He took some shots against Iowa. You're right about that. But, man, it's to watch Nick Marsh in that offense.
God, that's
just – I mean, that is a huge get for them. I didn't realize – I just assumed he was going to stay with Fitz, but that just –
I guess we can't assume that anymore.
You can't assume anything anymore. You know, you just can't. And I'm not completely convinced that Iowa may not have a change or two at quarterback. You just never know. You just never know. So
well, you've heard me say before, I don't want to bash the guys that are backing up Mark right now. But here's the truth. Neither one of them has had much chance to prove anything in college football.
No.
That's a concern.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there are other guys out there like Sorsby that are proven performers. And let's face it, Rocco's headed to Penn State because he's a proven performer.
Oh, yeah. I asked
Is there any
Tom.
doubt that Rocco's going to play well for Penn State? I'd be shocked if he doesn't.
I'm with you on that. I asked Tom last week, would you love to have Rocco? He was like, yes, I'd love
take
to have
Rocco
Rocco
in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, so we just got to do a great job of spending our money wisely. And, of course, be sure that the culture remains as good as it always has been. And I don't doubt that Kirk and the assistants are going to be able to get that done.
Well, I agree with you 100%, and so far so good as far as we
Have
can
you updated
tell.
your phone to see if anyone else has?
I checked.
Nothing.
No.
No. Okay. I mean,
What about the national championship race here? What are your thoughts, Don, on
Now that we're in the
games
semis.
ahead? Yeah.
You know, I hate that we have to have a Big Ten showdown in the semis.
I'm with you.
I wish we were on opposite sides of the bracket because I think it might be a rematch of Big Ten football. That'd be fun to see.
That sure would.
When I say rematch, I mean, one versus two in the Big Ten championship game, of course. I said at the time after the game, I said, here's the bad news for Indiana, or the good news for Ohio State. Ohio State may still win the national title. Now, they got bumped off, but Oregon came through. Not just came through, but my gosh, they were impressive
Yeah. No.
with how they played.
They sure were.
They're the real deal, too. And right now it appears, let me give a lot of credit. Just think about the four teams that are left. Right now, Miami's defense is awesome.
Really impressive.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say the two best teams are the two Big Ten teams left. Miami is very impressive with what they've done.
Yeah, and they got a veteran quarterback who doesn't lose games for them. He may not win them, but he protects them. Whatever. So, what's your gut feeling? Do you have a feeling who if you had to pick, is there one team that you would pick right now?
Well, gosh,
Put you on the spot.
right now it's hard. You've always heard people say it's really true. It's hard to win the rematch.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Oregon
Indiana.
and Indiana.
I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon won that game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana lost to Oregon, but it wouldn't surprise me either if Indiana beat them all over again.
Yeah,
Because to go to Oregon and win was impressive. And you remember that game like I do, I bet.
Yeah.
There was a pick six in that game,
Yeah.
and it looked like Oregon, the pick six made it a tie game.
I thought Oregon was going to win.
Oregon gained the momentum for the game right then.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they only tied it up, they were playing at Oregon. You remember what Indiana did the very next possession.
Yep,
Went linked to the field for another touchdown.
yep, like it was nothing.
And that impressed me. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
and so
watching that.
when Oregon had the momentum, Indiana simply took it right back away from them. So it's going to be one of the best semifinal games ever, I'd predict. I haven't done analytics on it. I'll do them all over again because I do. I don't know. It's a lot of work. What I should do is wait and do them on the winner for the championship game and be done with it. But I am curious how the analytics would shake out for Indiana, Oregon. I'm sure it'd be a close call either way. And a good example of close calls was our own game against Vandy. Here's the truth. I mentioned this at the time. When you combine the 20 games, the 10 games apiece, the number one parameter for winning was passing yards per attempt. Remember that?
Yeah, and wasn't it almost even?
85%. We were 9.6 yards per attempt. Vandy was 9.1.
I remember reading that on the stat sheet.
Yeah. We were better, but not by a lot. But the winning team still won the game. And another one was fewer passing attempts. That was 80% win.
Yeah.
And fewer passing attempts, of course, belong to Iowa. So maybe I don't know if I have the time to do it before. Let's see, the game is played when? It's played Friday or Saturday? I think it's played.
The 19th, you mean?
No, the semifinals.
No, the semi game. It's played this Friday, I think, right? Is it
Yes.
Friday or Saturday?
Friday the 9th.
Yeah, I've got a lot of work to do because I got more games to break down on both Indiana, of course, and Oregon. But maybe I'll get around to doing it.
Hey, Don, I wanted to. I wrote an article on DJ Vanami. I talked to Marv Cook, and got some really nice. And I know you've coached tight ends. If you get a chance, read it on Hawkfoot. Marv said some really interesting stuff, and he went into detail about why he thinks Vanami is going to be special. I mean, obviously he's already to have over 400 yards receiving as an Iowa tight end. That's impressive. But yeah, Marv talked about, he used the word natural so often when talking about how he just kind of has this ability to get into the right angle to find zones. It was really interesting. When you get a chance, I know you'll, as a former tight end coach, I think you'll enjoy what Marv had to say, because he really is high on this Vanami. And he said, he goes, Pat, he runs faster than people think he's running. And he goes, I can't tell you as a tight end how important it is to get to point A from point B fast, because you have to, because it all comes down. And then he talked about on that touchdown on the reverse how Vanami did it perfectly. He did his blocking part until it came time to release. Linebacker had no idea what he's doing. Boom, too late, and he was in.
Yeah, you got to sell the route.
Yes.
Whatever you need to do, you need to sell it. A simple example is, there's a route called a stick route.
Mm-hmm.
We used to call it a flat route. It's just a tight end driving downfield and bringing it outside on a quick short throw, right?
Yeah.
And the complement to that is a flat and go or a stick and go, whatever you want to call it. But you got to sell a stick route, of course, and you got to throw it a few times. You got to bait him into jumping the route, and that's all about being a good actor.
Yeah.
You got to sell the route. Marv understood that. Marv did that to people. And Vanami, you heard me say about Vanami when I first saw him play. I said, one of the things I liked about him, and I told him this, but the first conversation I ever had with him was after he made some plays for Iowa. And I said, you know what I like about you is you don't rumble down the field, you sprint down the field.
Uh-huh.
And that's what a good tight end does. I mean, my gosh, there's all kinds of tight ends playing in the NFL now that played for Iowa that did that. And Marv Kirk was, of course, one of the first.
Yeah.
But Vanami understands that. He runs down the field with a purpose. He's not just jogging down the field. He's sprinting.
Well, when I told Marv that...
a little more athletic than what people realize. And soft hands.
When I told Marv that Vanami played quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, defensive back in high school, because remember, Marv, was a former high school quarterback. Marv wasn't surprised. He didn't know that, but when I told him it, he goes, it's sort of kind of explained to him the Vanami is such a natural athlete. And Marv says there's benefits from having been a quarterback when you're a tight end, because you know kind of how the quarterback's thinking. And he said that helped him, and he thinks it's probably helping Vanami too. It was just a really interesting interview to talk to Marv that way, to break it down football-wise.
I did read your story too, Pat. It was very well written, and I did stumble across it, and I did read it just last night. So I was aware of the story you did with Marv. It was well written, and of course, you had a great subject. Put the story together in Marv.
Yeah, and it's a great story. Vanami's got 3 more years.
It's an incredible story.
Here's a question, and one of us needs to do the research. The obvious question: when was the last time an Iowa tight end had 146 yards receiving? It's been a while, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a career high. It doesn't happen much. I mean, Marv still holds most of the receiving yardage records and catches and what have you, especially because that '88 season, he was a machine back then. But no, I'm going to research that, and the answer may be already out there.
Hawkinson or Fant had games like that.
They did. I don't know if they had as much as 146, but they did. And Marv compared Vanami. He said he's a thicker T.J. Hawkinson at this stage. That's kind of who he reminded him of. And he says he's got that top-end speed that puts him there with Kittle. And Marv always refers to Noah Fant as kind of, when it comes to speed, just pure speed, Noah Fant's kind of above. Then you got Kittle. But he says Vanami's up there, too.
Yeah, Vanami's got a lot to look forward to. And I'm just proud. I still remember one day you remember Dick McKean? He was a great friend of mine.
Yes.
And we had a tradition when we came back to Iowa City. I had Dick invited me out to lunch one day, and we had a nice long visit over lunch, and he insisted on buying lunch, and I said, well, Dick, I need to reciprocate. Can we do it next Monday too? And it ended up being a routine for both of us. We ended up having Monday lunch together, probably about at least 45 Mondays out of the 52 Mondays in a year.
Oh, that's cool.
And we always just went to 2 different restaurants. That way we always knew who needed to pay. It was my turn to pay. We were at one restaurant. The restaurants remain nameless, but they were two of our favorites. And one day at one of those restaurants, T.J. Hawkins had happened to be having lunch.
Okay.
And I believe it was maybe about when he was drafted. I think he might have still not played a game yet in the NFL.
But you should have asked him to buy your lunch.
He came over. Maybe he already played one year. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I do remember him coming over, and he said, "Coach, you don't know me, but I know about you because I know about the history of Iowa tight ends. And I just want you to know, I'm so proud to be part of that history." And that was T.J. talking. And I remember thinking, golly, he's an easy guy to root for because that was a really nice gesture on his part.
No, that really
to do
was.
that.
Yeah, good kid.
And I've had that same kind of conversation with guys like Sam Laporta. I just think the world of Sam.
Great
and you've
kid.
heard me say, I'm so proud of guys like Sam because Sam and Jack Campbell said, of course we're playing in the bowl game. It's our last game for Iowa. We wouldn't miss it for anything.
And now look at
and
them.
they could care less about injury.
And they're both all pros now. So, they I don't see.
Yeah, we have so much to be proud of to have young men like that represent us in college and the pros.
Yep, you're right. I know Sam got injured, but he'll be back. He's had a great career so far. Jack's one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now. So, Tom, anything else?
I just want to add that I looked up T.J. Hawkinson, and his best game as a Hawkeye was 125 yards.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know Noah Fant had a couple, but I don't know if he had 146.
Well,
I'll have to go back and look up and see what Marv's was. And
I am aware of that game.
Oh, wait, Nick Bill.
Ohio State.
Nick Bill at Indiana,
I'm talking
Don. 19.
That game was, I know, I think about 160 or so, as I recall.
What about Nick Bill at Indiana?
Nick Bill might have had more, but of course he wasn't a tight end.
Well, he wasn't there. I think you guys used him as a tight end in that game. I think.
Well, he just caught the ball a lot out of the backfield.
Okay.
He was playing a lot out of the backfield, and you're right. There are times maybe when he was almost like an attached tight end. Can't remember all that, but I think most of those catches were out of the backfield. And that's a good story that you've heard me tell before too. We're down something like 24-7 in the second quarter, and Nick Vermeil tells Gary Bender, who's doing the game, he said off the air, he said, "I promise you this, I was going to make this game last forever." And we did. We ended up throwing 64 passes that day.
Yeah.
Indiana still beat us, but it gave us a chance to catch them. And that's the same game where Bill Mallory called a fake punt that went for about 50 yards when they were ahead by 10. And I remember telling Coach Mallory, "Coach, that's a great call." And he said, "Well, we had to do something. You were going to reel us in." And that fake punt resulted in only a field goal, but it kind of broke our momentum a little bit, gave them a little bit of a cushion. A little bit like us hitting the field goal against Vandy to give us a 10-point lead late in the game. Same kind of deal.
Well, Don, I just looked up an old Gazette story that came up. Let's see. Like a schoolyard meeting, the veterans with the big reputations, Iowa spotted the new kids a big lead before making a game of it, but the Hawkeyes were too generous. Indiana nearly used up all of its 31 first-half lead for a 45-34 victory in a 3-hour, 57-minute football show at Shelley Memorials. Enough records were established, mostly Iowa's Chuck Love to fill in. Let's see.
He threw for over 500, I think, didn't he?
Iowa played like Oklahoma does in basketball, said Hoosier linebacker Joe Huff. Anytime a good offense is down, you know they're going to come out throwing. Let's see. Viewers from the 9mm were entertained by an offensive display of 1,028 combined yards from the two teams. But the Hawkeyes were, let's see. I'm trying to get Iowa stuff. I don't know where Iowa's individual. Anthony Thompson had. Dave Schnell was the Indiana quarterback. We didn't come out hard. We didn't come out and play hard. Brad Cross, that's what these guys always say when they lose. We were unstoppable, tight end Marv.
44 for 62, I think, something like that.
We were unstoppable, tight end Marv Cook said. The defense didn't stop us. We stopped ourselves. Devin Harberts had 11 catches. Reserve fullback. Oh, he was playing fullback. Nick, he was a fullback. He wasn't a run. He had 13 grabs, and it's just that was a wild game. But you guys couldn't run the ball. That was you had to throw, didn't you?
Well, I don't remember. We were so far behind, and that's why Dick Vermeil was a great football coach, he predicted what we were going to do. He said, "I will make this game last forever." That was a quote.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not saying that on the air. He was saying it off the air to Gary Bender. Back in those days, we got a copy of the commentary by the announcers during the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, of course, it was during a commercial break, but that's what Vermeil said to Bender, because Bender's quote, I think, was, "Dick, I'm afraid we got a dog on our hands today," meaning a bad game to do. And he said, "No, you wait. I will make this a competitive game." And it'll last a long time. And
It
he was
did.
exactly correct.
Almost 4 hours. So,
Let me interrupt a second.
all right, Tom's got some hot.
Thought, and, anyway.
All right, let me interrupt,
Reminisce.
guys. Noah Fant's high was 116 yards. Sam Laporta had 122 yards in one of his bowl games. So those three of great tight ends did not do as much.
See if it goes back far enough for Marv Cook.
Okay,
It may go all the way back to Mars' game against Ohio State then.
it might.
Yeah, I mean, and Vanami's may be, obviously it's not the record for most receiving yards in a game, but it could be by a tight end.
That's right.
I'm trying to think of who else between Marv Cook. I mean, Jonathan Hayes didn't catch near as many balls as Marv did.
It's just hard to have a 100-yard game, of course, for a tight end.
Yeah, well, it helped having that 151-yard where he basically caught a short route and turned around and outran them. That's where he really showed his speed. And
Yeah, but when he pivoted on that right down the field, he did a great job of putting his hand in the ground.
He did.
And staying on his feet.
Yeah, he made that look easy, and that's not easy. No, you're right about that. So, all right, well, what are we gonna keep Don for another hour?
We should probably let you go.
You guys got a life to live, man.
I hope the listeners enjoy this as much as we do.
Oh no, I'm from what I hear, they do. They say that they get annoyed with me every once in a while, but they got to put up with me, and they love Captain.
Well, that's
they
just
say this
in
is
the station.
Well, they say this is your best segment, Captain, when Don's on. They say this is when you do your best.
I agree.
Yeah. Did they have anything
You
from
guys are
Marv?
very kind.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, listen, Don. Great as usual. Tom, anything else?
Did you want to come on one more time, after the
cap the whole season? And we may have a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do one
I
more.
know the date now. It's Monday the 19th. It's
Yes.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah,
And because the game, I'm almost certain, is played that night.
it is.
yes?
Do you want to come on that Wednesday, or do you want to come on the following
absolutely.
Monday?
I'll have the analytics on the two championship teams. And
Okay.
We don't have to hold back because we don't have a dog in the fight.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll do. So we're going to do it the Wednesday after.
Wednesday after, and the game's at 6:30 Central Time on the 19th.
Okay. Sounds good, Donnie. Look forward to it.
Wait a minute now, guys. Today's the 5th, so the game's on the 19th. Do you want to go on the 19th, on Monday the 19th, to keep it on a Monday?
Well, except the game won't have
The
been
game
played.
we want to do it after the game so we can look back at the season.
Oh, you want to do it as a post game?
Yeah, let's do post game. Yeah, let's do it on that Wednesday.
Post-game.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 days after the game.
Yeah.
Wednesday the 21st.
Yes.
21st.
All right.
I'll mark it down.
Okay. Sounds
great.
great. I'll be in touch.
Yep. Take care.
Thanks, Donnie.
I'm going to reach out to Adam today to try to get him on sometime this week to talk basketball. There hasn't been a lot of basketball played until just recently, and we had the Christmas break where there was one game, but now they came back and played UCLA.
And what a game it
What
was.
a great atmosphere. There was a few empty seats, but just in that one area, but on the south there, but not many. That place had almost 13,000 fans there, and they made a difference.
And it did make a
They
difference.
made a huge difference, especially when UCLA cut it to 4. The fans got into it, and I think that it just helps.
It does, and the atmosphere, I thought, stayed pretty good throughout.
I did, too.
People were nervous.
Well, they were bitching about the officials.
Yeah.
Because it was another damn conspiracy, Captain. And Karin, I'm waiting. Tom, I mean, how upset were you with the officials?
That wasn't the biggest problem. We just got real conservative.
And Donovan Dent is really good.
Really good.
God, is he
yes,
good.
Jim.
Mark Cook does have the record.
What's the record?
162?
150-some yards against Ohio State.
Okay, that's the game Donnie was
And
thinking
that
of.
was what Donnie was talking
Yeah.
about. Okay,
and
good to know.
And I can actually add that. I should add that to my story. Maybe I will. That's the one nice thing about the internet. You can just add stuff to a story, whereas newspaper, once it's out, it's out. But it was just a good win. They're by far their best win, because I looked. Grand Canyon's 8-5. Xavier's 9-6, 1-3 in conference. Old Miss is 8-6. Those aren't good teams.
No, they're not good.
Iowa did not have a good win coming into that game. And I think UCLA, do I think they're going to end up being in the top 4 in the Big Ten? No.
But I
still think they're a decent team.
I think they're an NCAA team.
I think they're a borderline. I think they'll end up making it as an 8-9 seed. Maybe I'm wrong. I think they'll win most of their home games. So this, to me, was his first really good win.
Yeah.
And even though they did kind of get complacent, they still won by 13.
They did, and
Sturts was incredible.
And compare it to the game at UCLA the year before, it's astounding. Iowa was down by, I think, 33 and
Iowa's
half.
defense in the first half Saturday was very impressive. I mean, UCLA, not only could they not find any open looks, they couldn't even run their sets because Iowa was clogging the passing lanes, was just making it impossible for them to move, to set up, to space the floor, and it was really impressive. That's what was the difference.
And they couldn't make their shots.
And they didn't have much time to get open looks. And usually when they did, it was at the end of the shot clock because it took them so long to fight through Iowa's defense. It was just really impressive. You knew they were going to make a run. And yet Iowa still came back and won by 13. And Sturts was so efficient, 8 of 10, 7 of 7. Did have 4 turnovers, 2 of them right when they started pressing. That kind of caught Iowa off guard. But Sturts was so efficient. And, you watch him. And then you remember how Ronnie Lester played. And it just shows you point guards come in all different shapes and sizes. And they can play the game. Because Ronnie and Bennett Sturts play the game so different.
They do.
But both Ronnie was so great in his way, and Bennett, that was a big statement game for Bennett, too. They needed every bit of him in that game, and 27 points on 8 of 10 shooting.
Ronnie got into the paint.
Ronnie got into the paint wherever he wanted.
That was his deal.
Prior to knee injury, he could get wherever he wanted.
Yep.
And Ronnie also got into the paint and rose up for jump shots where he's 40 inches up in the air. Remember those white pony tennis shoes?
Sure do.
White socks pulled up to his knees, and he's so high up in the air. Wow.
Hello.
Hello.
All right,
yes,
Carl, let's hear it.
I was impressed with parts of the UCLA game. When they started coming back, that kind of made me nervous. But and then I some of the calls by the refs, I wasn't sure. Some of the ones they knock them all over, they wouldn't call them, and then they call brush bys.
It's not fair. Captain, what do you think?
Anyway, I was going to ask you, what is Minnesota like? That's who we play tomorrow night.
At home. They're going to be dangerous. They're 7. They're not very good.
It's a game we could lose if we're not.
But
ready.
it's one of the more winnable Big Ten games on the road.
100%
on paper. They're 7-5. They're not very good, but they did beat Indiana. But Indiana's not very good.
Well, they're not.
No, this is a game. If Iowa wants to have a 12 and 8 or 30, you got to win this type of game.
Yes.
You can't lose this game.
And they do have their fans right down there on the court. So
yeah, but it's
it's Minnesota.
Now, isn't Minnesota the one where you have to get up on the?
Yes. I love the arena.
Okay.
I love the arena. I like covering games there. Now, what's interesting is both head coaches were at Drake for a year. Nico Medved went 17-17.
That is interesting, isn't
and
it?
McCollum went 31-4. No, like I said, would I be surprised if Iowa lost? No. Here I would be if they lost. But no, there I'm going to get Minnesota, like Ben says. You get 8-10 points if you have a good crowd, and Iowa better play well or they could lose this game.
Minnesota is undefeated at home, and they're 9-5 overall.
9-5 now? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, their barn reminds me of our field house. You got poles in there.
They're the same vintage.
You're lucky you don't get set down behind a pole.
Yeah. But they really haven't. The Indiana win is their best win. They're a very beatable team on paper. Like I said, you're not. Well, again, though, Rutgers isn't very good. There's just so many.
Well, let's hope we can get
there's
up
7 or 8
and
Big
beat
Ten teams that
Rutgers
I just think are mediocre at best, and Minnesota would fall into that category, mediocre at best. I think right now.
Now you think the women will win tonight?
Yes, Northwestern's 0-3.
We should win
6
by
and 8.
25.
Yeah, Northwestern.
They used to have a top-notch team.
No, they don't now.
They don't now.
Yeah.
And this is Joe
Okay,
McEwen's
guys, well,
last
thanks
year.
a lot.
18th season. All right,
Have a good day.
Yep.
18th season. Yeah, no, they're not very good. I would be surprised if this game's even very competitive.
There are 5 teams, the women's teams in the Big Ten with no wins. Northwestern, Indiana, Penn State, Purdue, and Rutgers.
Yeah, and to me, Minnesota men, they're not an NCAA. I'd be stunned if they
I'd be
were an NCAA
surprised.
tournament. They're just not. But again, it's there. That's why I give them 55-45 thinking Iowa wins this game. That's not overly confident, but I'm giving them a slight edge just because I think they're a better team.
I mean, Minnesota is middle of the pack in the Big Ten right now, and we're tied with them at 2-1 in the Big Ten, but our overall record is better.
So they beat Indiana, and
I'm not sure
who
their other one was.
I don't think it was against anyone very good.
I don't think it was.
No, and like I said, I'm not convinced Indiana's very good.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, quick comment, and then a question. I haven't seen Carver be that lively, and probably maybe since Tom Davis days.
I won't go that far.
No. It was loud under Alford. It was loud under.
But
Graham.
This
was good.
This was the best in the last few years.
Yeah, I think we're caught in the moment a little bit. Maybe.
Sure.
But no, you're right. It was really good, but it was loud under Fran. It was really loud under Alford at times.
Yeah. I was just going on the whole atmosphere of the game.
It was good. But, I mean, just a few years ago, Iowa against Michigan State, when Sanford hit the game winner at the end, that
was good.
Was magic. Yeah. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, no, Carver can be good when all the pieces fall into place.
Yeah, and real quickly, could you tell me basketball recruiting, who we might be looking at? Have you guys heard?
Not much.
I haven't basketball recruiting. I'm having enough time just keeping up with all the football stuff. I mean,
they're after.
I know Rob wrote something
real
recently.
Good point guard.
Yeah, they're after. I've read two or three different point guards. That what I've read is they got a list of like 8 schools, and Iowa's in that list.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't remember their names at the top. Now they do have they got the one commitment in the 25 class from Ethan Harris, the 4-star forward from is it Comas, Washington? I know he's from Washington. It's a short name. He's already signed, and he'd been said recently they'd like to add another big man, and they'd like to add. They need a point guard. Ben has said they are actively looking for a point guard, and I've seen it. Tom, if you want to find me a couple names,
I'm trying to.
But no, point guard and a big man are kind of priorities. Ben said to fill out this 25 class.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep. There was one I just retweeted the other day. He had Iowa, and there were 6. The problem with some of these logos, I don't know what school it is.
I know.
I get so sick
some of the smaller schools.
You don't know what the logo is, so you don't know who it is. Yeah. And I did have Iowa, but this one was Iowa with some pretty big schools. I mean, this guy looked pretty good.
One thing we did announced Iowa Illinois game is at 11
o'clock as opposed to 3:30. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Is that a Saturday or Sunday? That's
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. That's fine, man. Perfect time.
I'm still trying to find.
But no, Ben was asked about recruiting a couple of weeks ago, and he did say, "Yeah, they do need a point guard. They need a point guard in
the worst way."
Yeah, and
I mean,
and they'll get one. They'll get one. I mean. But you never know. They may get one from the portal. They may get one in this class who leaves, and then they get someone in the portal a year from now. You just.
I mean, Cale Combs is a good backup, but I don't know that
he could be a great guy to play alongside a newer newcomer. Cale Combs is steady. The other day he didn't score a point, but still helped them win. He had 4 rebounds, 3 assists, didn't turn the ball over. Gives some relief to Sturtz constantly having to have the ball in his hands. But no, he's not.
But I don't think he can be your 35-minute-a-game point
No,
guard.
but I do think he could be your 25 if you bring in a good younger guy and play with him. But they may go for the portal. We don't know.
They might.
They might try to get somebody ready to go from the portal. It's hard to say. All I know is he did acknowledge, yes, point guard, and we need another big man.
Yep.
And they've got, like I said, they've got the 6'8" forward, this Ethan Harris from the state of Washington, which I'm like, wow, he's going all over the place. I mean, Iowa doesn't normally recruit.
We stole him from Gonzaga.
He had been committed to Gonzaga, which is a good sign. That shows you Gonzaga doesn't recruit,
No. Chopped livers.
Chopped liver.
Hello.
Chopped liver.
Yeah, did you see the highlights of the 6'2" girl?
McKenna Velichko?
Come back from knee surgery.
I have not.
Yes.
13 rebounds. She looks really good.
Yeah, 19 and 13. And
right.
she was one clip I saw on there. She was in the lane taking a jump shot. It was just beautiful. Poetry in motion. Big, up 2.5 feet in the air.
Now she just has
Beautiful
to
form.
stay healthy.
Now she has to stay healthy.
Just stay healthy. No, I mean, she's a 5-star. She's definitely going to come in and help. And they need, I mean, she's going to she'll probably play a lot of what Hannah Stokey plays.
Yes, that.
And we'll play it differently. We'll be a completely different. She'll do some things better than Hannah. She'll do some things not as good as Hannah. Hannah's biggest problem. There were so many times the other day where I'd say to Hannah, she's 8 feet from shoot. But I don't think she's got a lot of confidence in her elbow jump shot. I mean, she just doesn't.
The good news is Ava Hayden's getting
Ava Hayden's starting to get it.
Yep.
And the thing is, teams are sagging off Hannah, but still, Hannah's still figuring out. If you notice, her scoring's starting to pick up a little bit. She's still figuring out ways to feed off of Ava, too. Mm-hmm. And if teams have to start sagging a little more onto Ava, that's going to leave more openings for Hannah to get to the basket, and you're starting to see a lot of give and go between them.
Yep.
So
Chit-Chat's starting to get a little more
she's
shoot-centric.
If I was shooting as well as she's shooting almost 50% from three. Keep shooting.
You bet.
Keep shooting. I mean, until she starts missing, I say she's got the green light. And so, right now the women are, I think, they're a pretty good story right now. I mean, they're going to win tonight. They should. What that make them 4-0 in Big Ten play. That'll make them 13-2 overall, or was it 14? They're having Jan, I believe, is 35-13 overall as the Iowa head coach.
If they win tonight, they'll be 13-2
and 4-0 in the Big Ten. Losses to Iowa State and Connecticut,
and we'll be tied with UCLA at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody else has got at least one loss. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams with one loss in the Big Ten standings.
Some bad teams.
And there's some bad teams after that.
There's some bad. I mean, that Indiana, Northwestern, Purdue, Rutgers, Penn State. We just named off 5 right there, and they're bad.
And they're bad.
I wouldn't say they're average.
No.
They're bad, wouldn't you say?
I would.
That's almost a third of the conference.
Yeah. Yeah. And how about the men? It's the same.
Yeah, and did you see what UCLA women did to USC?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like by 30 or 40?
I didn't think it was quite that bad.
USC's not very good.
No, they're not. Jazzy Davison, the number 1 recruit, is real good, but she's without their gal.
Juju.
Without Juju.
Well, I did see the Howell girl transferred to Washington.
Uh-huh.
I saw her playing for Washington, and they look like they could be okay. See, I think the Iowa men and women are both in the same. They're both not in that. They're above that group of average to below average teams. I think the men and women are both above that.
The USC women, they lost Kaylee Heckel, too, one of the real good guards that went to. Did she go to UConn?
I don't know.
Well, she went to another real good team.
Okay.
But
USC has really fallen off, and it shows you how quickly it can happen, especially in this age. I mean, Indiana shows you how quickly it can happen good, and now you look at Iowa State football. I mean, I don't, I'm sure an Iowa State fan's going to say, "Oh, mind your own business, we'll be fine." Well, if I was an Iowa State fan, I'd be scared crapless right now with what's happening to my football program.
I don't think they'll be fine year 1.
I don't either.
Or maybe even year 2.
Yeah, and this guy may not be able to do it. Who knows? I mean,
he may not.
It's going to be, but I'm also willing to say, same thing could easily happen to Iowa.
It could.
It could happen in a heartbeat to a developmental program if a couple bad decisions are made.
But I will say that I think with the schedule that they have, I think Penn State's football is going to be real good. Will be solid next year.
Well, yeah, I think they'll do what James Franklin did almost every year at Penn State. Win at least 10 games.
Yeah.
James Franklin won 10, 11 games consistently at Penn State. It'll be interesting to see what Penn State does against the big ones, the big guys. Those are the games James couldn't win. That's why he got fired.
Well, they don't have a lot of those next year.
They don't, but they have some.
And
they're going to eventually have those if they want to get where they want to be, which is Big Ten champion.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. But no, the schedule is very favorable. But yeah, I know they got Beck, they got Ben Bramer, they got Bacon, the linebacker, who's really Caleb Bacon. He's a good linebacker. Have not heard about Jeremiah Cooper. I'm trying to think of who else. Oh, the Mansky one is the one that surprised me.
I guess I was a little bit surprised, too.
I figured he was going to be Iowa State's quarterback for the future, but he's thinking Beck's got one more year. I'm going to go be Penn State's maybe. But watch Penn State recruit over him.
Well, and they will.
They'll probably will because it's Penn State.
They'll try.
And then Grunkmeyer's following Franklin to Virginia Tech.
Oh, he did for sure.
That's pretty much. I'm not sure if it was official, but it looked like it. That's what was being reported. Portal fever. Do you have portal fever, Captain?
I have fever.
But it's not related to the portal?
No.
You don't really care about the portal, do you?
I'm looking for a portal here.
You want to transfer portal here?
Yes, I want to transfer.
You want to transfer to a bigger market?
been a smaller one.
There aren't any, are there anymore?
Less to do.
What are we? Market 212?
No, don't slight us. We're 204.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe 202 by the end of this broadcast.
Iowa's passing offense.
Yeah.
Isn't that where it ranked?
It was bad. It was
I am though. That I'm going to write.
124.
That is my concern though. If I'm an objective Iowa fan, yes, this offense did end up being pretty good. Gronowski ended up being a pretty good deal, but this offense relied so much on him getting critical first downs and big gains with his running ability, because that was a better chance of doing it than passing. To me, that's a concern, because I don't think the next quarterback's going to be able to do that. Is that a legitimate concern?
That is 100% legitimate. And, I mean, we were still one of the worst passing offenses in the country.
Yes.
Again.
And we treat 212 yards as if he threw for 500. We act like it's Joe Tiller at Purdue, but that's what we've been conditioned. We're desensitized. And I've watched enough of Hank Brown and Jeremy Heklinski play. They're not anywhere close to being – I mean, they might be maybe as fast in a sprint, but Gronowski's pretty shifty.
He's big.
He took a pounding and bounced off guys. Jeremy Heklinski, that's a hard name to say. Heklinski, he's like 5'11", and there's not a lot to him. He's not going to be able to play the position the same way. He's going to have to convert third downs, 3rd and 7, by throwing for 8.
Yeah.
More times than scramble. There's going to be plays, of course, where he's going to be able to scramble. But Iowa would have 5 to 15 design plays where Gronowski just put your head down, go. They're not, and usually they were at critical times to keep drives going. And to me, that's a concern.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Time will tell.
Yeah.
And, if somebody pops up.
I knew it. I was waiting.
If someone pops up in the portal that's interested in Iowa that we're interested in, of course,
sure, you got to look at them. That Night Ranger song that you played on my way in here.
Sister Christian.
What are they saying? Is it motoring?
Yeah, motoring.
Yes.
Because I had a buddy of mine in college who, because he knew I hated that song, anytime he'd see me, especially if I wasn't aware, he'd scream that phrase at the time. He did it for 6 months. Like we could be in a library and he'd sing just screaming because he knew it got on my nerves. I hated that song.
That's why I played it.
And I liked that song.
That's why I played it.
Because you knew I was driving
Get
in?
out your nerve. No, I don't think I'm...
Actually, I liked Night Ranger.
Oh, I hated that song.
Yeah.
I liked Night Ranger. I thought they had some real good songs.
Don't tell me you love it.
Yeah.
One of the greatest
songs ever.
Groups.
Ever.
Ever.
All right, Night Ranger or Led Zeppelin?
Night Ranger.
Night Ranger or the Beatles?
You compare them to them.
What
no.
Night Ranger or the Doors?
Fair.
Oh, and yesterday, and I'm sure you both, you took a moment and just to kind of lament and reminisce. Yesterday was the 60-year anniversary of the release of the Doors' debut album, 1960.
Did not take a moment.
January 4th, 1967. Oh, no, not the 59th. You did not.
I did not.
I cranked it, but when it got to the end, I didn't listen to that because that's such a great album. It gets you all going. Then the last song is the end. And
which is
it's depressing.
Bleak.
It is.
Wants to kill his parents. And
I banned it on KFMA.
And see, that'd be a big bathroom break.
Censorship.
And you're giving up a huge bathroom.
Censorship.
And you're giving up a big bathroom break. That's a long song. Yeah. You could battle in there.
Oh, you could play the USS Titanic. What was with Jamie Brockett doing?
Well, I also read Revolver came out, I believe, yesterday in 1966. It came out a year before the Doors' debut album. And you like that album, don't you, Revolver?
Oh, yeah.
I love
that album.
That's a great album.
Yeah.
So
I'm a Beatles freak.
So the Revolver came out 60 years ago. Wow. What do you think of that?
Means I'm old. I remember it so well.
I remember saying, "Here's brand new Beatles." That's sad.
I was 2.
I'm gonna be 77 this month.
Well,
it's just
you're getting closer.
Double 7.
You're almost in presidential range.
It's just I got to be a little more senile to do that.
That's you're moving along in that way too. So things are moving. Things are on schedule. Things are progressing nicely. So let's see what else. Iowa, the Soldier Salute. I didn't get that because a lot of their main guys didn't wrestle.
No, they didn't.
Jordan Williams he won the 157-pound title, and did the gymnastics Did they have something? Didn't they have something this weekend? Or no, is it coming up this?
I think it's coming up.
Coming up on the 7th, I believe.
The Gym Hawks.
The Gym Hawks.
I like the Gym Hawks.
And
we have season tickets.
Do you?
See the Gym Hawks, yeah.
Okay. And what does that cost?
Almost nothing.
Isn't it like $35?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah. Yes. It's almost
like
nothing.
A pizza with delivery.
It is.
Yeah, or steak at Hy-Vee. That $31.70, that ribeye that I wanted, that would buy you a season pass for gymnastics. Yeah. So.
And one of my steaks that I had in Tampa would pay for 2 season tickets.
And probably for someone's health insurance for a month.
Well,
maybe not anymore.
Maybe not anymore.
And you said the steak you got was 65 a la carte?
68.
68 a la carte.
Yes.
Hello.
Worth every
I like the baked potato better at 15. That's funnier to me than the steak at 16. Isn't that to you, Captain?
Hey, but it's loaded.
It's
loaded.
With what? Crack or money?
Hello.
Hello. The next gymnastics meet is Saturday at 4 o'clock.
That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Thanks, Karn.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see here.
You think Karn complains about the judges at the gymnastics meet? Biased against the Hawks. Have you ever thought that, Tom? These judges, Ann, are really biased against the Hawks, and I'm not going to tolerate it.
I have not made that observation at this time.
But you're going to be looking that way now.
But I'm going to change how I look at it. No, I did. I enjoy women's gymnastics.
Well, to me, couldn't you argue that what they do is more spectacular than what any other athlete? I mean, I know it takes a lot to run 50 yards for a touchdown, but
I don't know if anything's harder than
the balance beam
than hitting a curveball, a 92-mile-per-hour curveball,
or throwing a 95-mile-per-hour fastball with movement to a sprint.
I mean,
I'll give you credit on that, and I guess I did sell
those are so hard. I think gymnastics is incredible.
But as somebody who did pitch, I was able to pitch. I don't think I could ever do a balance. I could have never done.
Oh, never.
Some of the stuff.
I can't even walk on the balance beam.
No. I mean, it's just. I think more people can pitch than can walk on a balance beam.
I think that's probably true.
But no, you're right. One of the hardest things ever is to hit a baseball.
And I'm so impressed.
I was good at it.
But great athletes, and they're getting paid more money probably than they should.
And I think you could argue that baseball's maybe the hardest sport to play. Now, it's easy to say if you're not someone playing football and getting pounded. Baseball takes so much just eye-hand coordination, anticipation.
Well, and
one wrong move and you're done.
And the major leagues, you're playing 162 games, not even counting the postseason and not counting the preseason.
And guys now consistently throw 95 to 100 with incredible movement on the ball. But, I mean, when you're an outfielder, you make one wrong step for a line drive, you're
dead.
You're dead. Everything's baseball.
And I made those wrong steps frequently when I was.
Well, I did too. But see, when I played baseball, all I did was pitch. I didn't hit. I pitched every 3 games. I would pitch.
I couldn't pitch, but I could hit. I was good at hitting.
Yeah, but you quit. You're talking like little league, right?
Huh?
You're like little.
No,
you didn't. School. Did you play varsity baseball?
Yes.
So you played like your junior and senior?
But you played a week, didn't you?
Yeah.
What?
No, I played a semester.
Uh-huh.
What year?
60.
So were you like a freshman?
5.
You were like a freshman?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was a sophomore.
Okay.
And then because I started, and then I quit because I wanted to do this.
Was that Coach Collins?
For the rest of my freaking life.
Was that Coach Collins?
Yeah, he was pissed at me. And he took it out on me on gym class.
So what position did you play?
Quitter.
What position did you play?
Second base.
Second base.
I was
Call me a stinking quitter.
I was a good second baseman. I was not a good outfielder.
He said you'll never amount to anything playing those stupid
Did you play baseball in high school?
No. I stopped after Babe Ruth. Because everybody grew except for me.
After he died?
Oh, no, the league.
Oh.
Because I didn't grow until between my sophomore and junior seasons or years, so I was too small.
I can top that. I didn't grow.
Sorry, man.
You guys were both quitters in high school.
Yeah.
Hell, I quit my high school basketball team with like 5 games to go in the season.
Hey.
That's because I didn't get along with the coach.
Yeah.
If you can't quit, you shouldn't play.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a mantra there.
And that one I don't really even regret. There was so much involved with that, but yeah, whatever. It's a long time ago.
Well,
Did your parents, were they pissed off?
No, my dad was on my side, which in those types of cases he ever rarely was. But no, it's not. I won't bore you with it. But it was no. My dad was definitely on my side on that one, and he actually no. Yeah.
That's that's interesting.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting situation, trying to think. Anything else Hawkwise? Check the refresh to see portal wise.
I'm checking.
They had
that.
I've read as many as 5 or 6 guys have visited in the last 3 or 4 days. And of course, 3 of them have already committed. They also got Anthony Hawkins, a FCS All-American freshman, All-American from Villanova. Really good stats this last year. 59 tackles. Villanova. I watched him play. They're a decent. That's a decent level of football. I think he can come in and help them. No, he's not from Alabama. He's not from Tennessee or Georgia or whatever, or Ohio State, but that's just not how Iowa operates.
Okay, now our pal Tony Diaz is still in Iowa City. He's the one who said Iowa don't throw the ball on his Instagram. But he's still here. And evidently, who knows? Maybe.
Where's he play at?
I don't know. Let's see if they have it.
I saw
Texas Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm not, they won 9 games this year. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure there's part of you, Tom, that wishes there would maybe be a power 4 receiver that might.
I would love it.
Yeah,
there was even some of the Iowa fans were saying, "Hey, Kyler Casper's in the. He's had 4 catches in 4 years, I think, at Oregon."
At Oregon, yeah, and I don't get that one.
Well,
and he obviously hasn't wanted to come here,
or he would be here.
Yeah, and to me, if they got him, I'm never going to say never. Who knows? If they got him, maybe he'll come here and maybe he'll flourish.
He might.
You never know, but
former 4-star athlete.
Yeah, it goes to show you though.
He hasn't done anything.
And people will say, "Well, that's Oregon." Okay, but I mean, Iowa's they've got to upgrade their receiver position. I think we can agree on that.
And I'm not sure that he would be an upgrade.
Well, and he's
4 years ago, you would have thought.
And what's he have, a year left?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to be able to get a receiver who's got 2 or 3 years left to come in here. But like I said, they're in a catch-22. You can't get them until you start using them, and they're struggling to use them.
Well, the safety, Anthony Hawkins has 3 years eligibility.
Yeah, and
remaining.
he's a D-back. That's
safety,
a strength for Iowa.
Place kicker's got 2 years remaining, which is good. And then Bryce Stevenson, the defensive tackle's he's got 1 year plus a redshirt year maybe.
1 year. He's played 3 years. I mean, he's played extensively over 3 years. So how could he have another year? Other than he has, I've read where he has 1 year remaining. That's what the recruiters do.
It said 1 year plus redshirt year. So I don't know.
He'd have to come here in redshirt this year to play the next year. But if he comes and plays here this year, that would be his 4th year because he's played 3 years.
So there's no change in that rule?
I don't believe you get 5 years yet. I think that's coming, but
it's been talked about.
But that's not there yet. Yeah. I mean, so I think from what I've read that he has 1 year, but still they need help right away.
They do.
On the defensive line.
They do.
And you could say they need help right away in the secondary too.
Yeah,
I mean they do, and
maybe they got it.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, if I'm a Power 4 team wanting to poach from Iowa, Vanami, Lutmer, the 2 offensive linemen, who else would be someone that would be attractive?
Reese, maybe Fenzi.
Possibly Kamari Moulton.
Maybe.
I mean,
Kamari.
It'll be interesting to see if you hear any rumblings on other schools trying to come in and get them. Because, Kamari Moulton's a pretty good running back, but he's also got a pretty good situation at Iowa. He's their number 1 guy. He ran for about 1,000 yards this year. He's got 2 years of eligibility left. But
offensive line.
Let's say all of a sudden Florida decides, man, we really need Kamari. Let's say Florida offers Kamari Moulton. You just never know.
No, you don't.
It'll be interesting to see if any of that happens. With Iowa, it's mostly guys from FCS or lower mid-level coming to Iowa. That's usually that's what their portal stuff is, and that's just Hank Brown was an exception, but Hank Brown left Auburn because I think Hank knew he was never going to be the guy there.
Hello,
wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Hey, quick question: any word on a special teams coach?
I've heard rumors, but nothing that I am comfortable saying. But I have not. No, I think that might take a little bit of time. Kirk oftentimes does take time.
He wants the right guy.
He wants the right guy, and I'm sure they. Who knows? Maybe they'll promote from within. I don't know.
They might.
I haven't spent much time looking at it yet, but I have not heard anything concrete yet. No, have you heard any rumors?
No.
I mean, just the rumor that is not substantiated by any stretch because he doesn't. I don't know, but bringing Desmond King onto the staff. So,
well, I think that's because he's been hanging around here a lot. He was here for, but I mean,
then bring him on as a consultant.
There's so many different positions you could do, and it could be something like it's not even full time.
Yeah,
it could be. I mean, remember that Scott Pioli?
Uh-huh.
He had that job. He's never been.
And then they had that Ruggiero guy.
Yeah, there's all different things. So, but I'd be surprised if Desmond King was named their special teams.
I would be very surprised. He's never coached a second.
I also think about punter-wise, he's buried in the depth chart at Georgia, but the kid from Mediapolis, Iowa, whether he's going to be sticking around Georgia. I mean, why would you want to stay at Georgia? But he isn't a starter at all.
I forgot about it. I didn't. Yeah, I assumed he was the starter.
If he's not in the portal, as far as I know.
Didn't he punt for them last year?
I thought he did.
So he went. Well, Georgia obviously.
No, he did. He punted a couple times, but I think he's only punted like maybe 5 or 6 times in his career so far. But this will be his 3rd year coming up.
So he's probably got 3 years of eligibility remaining.
Well, and maybe he thinks he's the guy next year.
Yeah, and maybe Iowa doesn't want him.
That might be the case too.
And Iowa may not want him.
All right, go Hawks.
All right, go Hawks.
Yeah, we got to go too.
All right.
You know what you forgot to do today?
Play spots?
Yeah.
Well, we'll play them now.
Yes, we will.
All right, well, Molly Suter's coming up
What are you
next.
looking at me like that for?
I'm just crushed that we can't go till 11. It's not fair.
We can go to noon, but I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
Huh?
Wait, let me check it. The hell is this?
I don't know. You're looking at it.
All right,
Molly Suter is next. Many thanks to Coach Don Patterson for joining us this morning. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
1-800-800